Okay, Simrat, I think I've started the recording, so we can kick start. Meanwhile, students बीच में join कर लेंगे, so I think we can kick start.
Okay. You wanna go ahead?
Yes, we can share the screen, Simrat, then we can start. I think. The PPT only. Okay. Oh, yeah, no issue from here only. So, guys, okay. So, guys, what we will be doing, we will just explain you. I hope like you all know about the basics of AI ML stuff. So our goal of this master class is to like get the good understanding of like what AI, ML and everything and how like generative AI works, then agentic AI, right? So if we will not directly jump onto agentic AI, because some of you might be the beginners one, like some of you might know a little bit of stuff. So our goal is to like make you aware that how what is the agentic AI, but like there is a lot of hype is there, right? So how you can make your own agents and automate your tasks, right? So we cannot like jump directly onto it like and show you some flows and all. Then you won't remember and everything. So we will like start with the basics. So we'll go like day by day, day by day. First day like what is AI ML and then little bit of projects. Then second day will be little of higher level and then third day, fourth day we'll show one real world like AI agent class, AI agent project. So okay, so we can wait for 2-3 more minutes. People are joining. So let me send the reminder also to the people.
Yeah, there is there are both types of both types of uh,
Okay, Simran, I think we are good. So we can share the recording with the students so we can kick start. Whoever joins is fine.
Alright. So everyone is comfortable with English, right? And everyone is able to hear me loud and clear?
Okay. You're okay.
Okay. Then a little about me. My name is Simrat Kaur, and I'm currently working in TCS. And meanwhile, I'm working in the industry, and the tech stack that I'm working on is generative AI. So all the hype that is around regarding the generative AI, the LLMs, the RAG systems, the agentic AI part of it, I'm working on it. So if I do have the industrial exposure, so we'll begin with the most basic thing. What is AI? This term is coined since 1919. So if you are using Netflix in your day to day, then it is also an application of AI, and the Siri or the Echo Dot or Alexa, these are digital assistants and they are also an application of AI. So anything that is able to perform a task on its own without any human intervention is an AI application. So if you are scrolling through Amazon and you want to buy a phone, then it will automatically recommend you, like it will redirect you the links for the headphones as well. So that is also an application of AI. That is basically the recommendation systems. So that is AI for you. And subset of AI is ML, that is machine learning. That basically learns from the existing data and make predictions from it. So if we the classic examples would be like if I want to predict the sale price of a house, and I am living in Bangalore and where the house rents are skyrocketed. So where I there might be some applications like where I can provide the area, the square meters in square meters, like what area that is covered and how many BHKs there are, and then I can predict the price of the house. So what we are doing there is there are a set of features or dependent variables like the area of the house, the number of bedrooms or rooms in the house, and what we are trying to predict is our target variable, which is the sale price of the house. So this is a few of the use case for the ML. We are using statistical tools here to predict the value, and deep learning is another subset of machine learning. So what happens is when we are working with large number of data, then the performance of our model gets stagnant at some point. So deep learning deals with huge amount of data, and generative AI, if you know ChatGPT, that is also trained on huge amount of data. That is one application of generative AI, which is again a subset of deep learning. In deep learning, we have neural networks. So more deeper the network is, more uh, better performance that we get through it. So these are some basic domains in AI, and so if we jump on to the generative AI use cases, then everyone have used like ChatGPT. That is one use case of generative AI. So where we basically in ChatGPT, what we are trying to do is we are generating new content, be it text. Now it is able to generate images as well. So we have DALI tool to generate the image. One of the use case, the projects we are seeing at the end is also will generate the text and convert it into the image. So and so if we are talking about generative AI, so LLM is basically the foundations of generative AI. LLMs are the large language models. Basically, they are trained on huge amount of data. Like ChatGPT is using GPT as their large language model in order to generate the data. So basically, it is trained on data from millions of website, books, every source you can think of. It is trained there. Like it is trained around terabytes or of data. So if you give me 1 second. Yes, so a few of the foundation models for them is GPT, that is from OpenAI, and Meta's LLMs are like Llama, and Mistral is another LLM model, and they are trained on huge amounts of data. So if we talk about their working, so it's basically if we are asked telling a child like uh,
Okay, guys, so don't get bored here. Like it will be getting in more and more interesting by the time that just like we are explaining you like what is LLMs, like what are the roles of LLMs in further generative AI and the agentic models. You just like keep up the pace, so it will get interesting. Okay, Simrat, yeah.
Yeah. Basically, there is a concept of transformer architecture on which the LLMs are designed, but that will be too much for the first day one. That is basically has encoder and decoder. Encoder basically uh, gets the input and transforms it, and decoder generates the text out of it. So in chat gpt, while we are using, if you will see, like it is generating text in like spaces, and we have some so the llms will if we go into the working of the llms, it is converted, the text is first converted into the tokenized way. So tokens are basically smallest unit of a word. So if I am saying like today is Monday, so basically here we can see for this example, let's say the number of tokens it is generating is around 53. So this is what happens with llms is it first converts all the words into the tokens, and then it creates embeddings out of it. So basically a machine will only understand the numerical in language of zeros and one. We cannot directly pass the text to it. So after tokenizing the text, it converts into numbers like this. These are the vector representation of the token that we have created. And then there is something like a vector db, like relation database stores data in rows and columns. Vector db stores in form of vectors, and it is a multi-dimensional space, so we cannot even imagine, a human mind cannot comprehend it. But if you see like dog and puppy, these two vectors might be close to each other, and this is how it works. So basically chat gpt while generating the text, it kind of if I have dog in my sentence, it will generate while generating the text, it will go to this vector space and use this all vectors that is similar to the dog vector. So this is how it works. And moving on from LLMs to RAG. So RAG is one of, since ChatGPT is trained up to, let's say, 2023 information, but we want to we want answers for like who won the World Cup this year, and anything current to it. So it will generate the answer, but it will give you wrong answers and in a very confident manner. So here come rags into the picture, which is utilizing our knowledge base. So we are giving the text that as a knowledge base to utilize it. So we are augmenting it with the information, and it will retrieve. So there, okay, I'll give you a diagram for this because it is not easy to visualize. So what RAG does is, we have some knowledge base. For example, I have a PDF of a book named Daily Stoic, and I will give it to the LLM, and it will create vectors from it. Like earlier, I have explained, it will tokenize it, then create vectors out of it, and it will store the vectors in such way in the vector space. It will while retrieving, it will get the vectors that are close to each other. So if in the chat interface, like consider it as a chat gpt, if I'll add like who won the World Cup, then this query vector also will get through the same embedding model, and the vector out of it is created. And these both vectors, for this user query vector, we will check for most similar vectors. So we are augmenting this information and retrieving it as per the user's query. And all of this vector similar searches are given to the LLM, our large language model, like GPT or Llama per se, and it will generate the response according to the user's query, and it will return it to the chat GPT. So this is what is happening back of our RAG application. And yeah, so we are utilizing LLMs for this. And for example, ChatGPT does not know my company's data and information, what policies they are following, or what was the revenue in terms of quarter this year. This is all a confidential information. So for use cases like this, RAG is extensively used. So if you will be applying to jobs tomorrow, so this is one of the skill this RAG framework is utilized so much, because conversational agents like chatbots are built over this architecture. So LLMs are very powerful, and AI agents also utilize LLMs as the brain. And I'll tell you, yeah, and it basically combines some. We'll go back to it later on. So this is what happens is that diagram was a little more convenient. And we have vector db. So vector db, basically there is some disadvantages. We cannot use relation database here, because the data that we are processing is very unstructured. The documents that we are giving might have tabular structure or images present in that, so that we cannot store in forms of rows and columns. So we have vector db for that. It stores in a vector multidimensional space. And data chunking is very important step that is done in RAG, because we cannot there might be a PDF of 500 to 1000 pages. We cannot directly give it to store, because there is a token limit, as we checked here. Like this tokenizer, for this much of sentence, this 53 tokens were generated. So at once, an LLM can only process around, let's say, GPT-4 is very powerful. It can process around millions of token at once. But Llama with 8 billion parameters is able to handle around 1000 to 10,000 tokens. So before passing it to the LLM or the embedding model, we have to chunk that information. So basically, we are the PDF that has the data in our RAG pipeline. First, it is chunked, and then it is passed. Those chunks are passed to the, yes, here the chunks are created and then they are passed to the embedding model. These are the text chunks in the form of these rectangular red, and then vectors are created. Okay. And if we will come back to the main part, that is agentic AI. So if I am asking chat GPT, it won't make me a picture of a flower. It will take time to generate, because this is the normal, this is not the premium version. Okay, while it is getting generated. So what here happening is, the chat GPT, which is utilizing OpenAI's GPT model, is calling gem is basically calling the DALI model. That is a diffusion model from OpenAI that basically deals with the images part of it. So the LLM, it is DALI is trained all on kinds of images, and whereas ChatGPT's GPT model is trained on textual data. So what here is happening? ChatGPT is function calling the DALI model, that is diffusion model from OpenAI. So this is something you can think of. This is kind of an agent that is working, because one LLM is utilizing another LLM to make the task possible, and this is all happening using APIs. So the both the tools are interacting with each other, and that is done through APIs. APIs you can if you know client and server architecture, so server or think of a restaurant per se. So you go to a restaurant and you order something, so it is served to you. You are the client here, and wow, that's a lovely picture. So here ChatGPT's GPT model function called DALI, that is another LLM. So this is how it is done. This is one of the application of agentic AI, so it will help you visualize better. So if you will see here, the LLM is using a tool executor. You can, it is requesting a tool. It could be doing web searches. If you will ask for top 5 resources for these website, if ChatGPT is providing that, it is using some web search tool for that. That is also application of agentic AI. So basically, yes. So, in if we talk about AI agents, the main thing or the thinking part for AI agents are the LLMs. You can think of LLMs as the brain for the AI agent, and it interact with the tools, because ChatGPT is trained up to some time, and it won't know, it doesn't have the access to my personal information. Then we can, what we can do is utilizing API calls to call one of our RAG based system, and from that we can utilize our knowledge base and give answers. So or we can make calls to web search, like uh, later in the session we will talk about Crew AI. That is one of the tool or framework that is utilized to implement the AI agents. So yeah, this is how it works. It uses LLMs as the main part, and then it makes calls, API calls to the tools, be it web search tool or another LLM models such as DALI for the generation of the picture that we saw. That is all done using function calling. So AI agents can be implemented using function calling, or we can prompt other LLMs to generate or give us the response to the what we want basically. And it works in a feedback loop. Yes. So okay. So agent is basically comprised of three major parts. One is the LLM, and another is the set of the tools that it can use, and a prompt that provides the instructions. We prompt, you can think this is also a prompt. Make me a picture of a flower. So basically, prompt is something that we are telling or we are giving instructions to the LLM in terms of the input query. So this is also a prompt. The more concise and clear your prompt is, the more better answer or responses get uh, that we get. It will generate. and the LLM operates in a loop. In each iteration, it selects a tool to invoke, provides input, receives the result, an observation, and uses that observation to inform the next action. The loop continues until a stopping condition is met, typically when the agent has gathered enough information to respond to the user. So, here, if we have a finance agent, then it will search for whether to buy this stock or not. For that, it will search for the web articles that are available on the web internet. For that, it will call an API and then select those articles and give it back to you. And if that is not enough, it will go back to the web and search for another result. So this loop continues until a stopping condition is met, until your response is gotten generated as per the prompt that was specified. So that happens in a feedback loop. So this is what AI agent is. And moving on to the practical implementation, I hope if anyone has any doubts or anything, they can ask. Then we can move on to the implementation part of the rack, so you can better visualize what happens. This is some theory part. ये boring ही होता है. So if anyone has any doubts or any question,
There, there are a few questions like similar, like what is difference between agent and LLM, and words are like used as a token, right? So yeah, we can just explain like LLM and agent difference. And somebody
okay.
asking if API is free or paid. Okay, you can answer collectively.
Okay, regarding the API, like GPT-4 model that is most powerful and most recent, that is paid. But if you want to use free open source mod LLMs are also there, like Llama from Facebook with 8 billion parameters that works on CPU that doesn't require more GPU or infra, so that you can utilize. GPT-4 is stronger, but it has some cost associated to it. For learning purposes, you can use Llama's meta model. And then difference between the LLM and agents. Okay, I will explain in terms of a diagram. Okay, so So this is something you can think of: three agents, a multi-agentic framework. So agent is nothing but something that is using LLMs. LLMs are basically trained on vast amount of data, and they are able to ask, like, answer any of the user's query. So we are what agents are doing is using the power of LLMs to, if you ask anything to the LLM, if it will answer. So we are using that power along with the tools that we have. Like, if we have there are multiple agents in this. So one is the research agent. So what this whole application is about, it is about planning a trip. So what we do while planning a trip is, we research for, like, the hotel stays, the flights, and we compare those. So here we have created like three agents separately that works as a team. Later on we can combine them, and for that we can use Crew AI framework. So what here is happening, one research agent will fetch the result from the web, and it will give, that will all happen along with the LLMs that we have, and they will interact with each other in form of API calling. So we can use here server API that is used, that is also open source, and that will basically get you the web search results, uh, and the prompt that you pass. So if you pass the LLM the prompt, like, get me like top 5 results for the hotel stays in X location. So we are utilizing LLMs by passing the prompt and the message, and then a research agent will fetch those information. Booking agent will use, like, we are using here the tool Skyscanner, that is something that we used for flight booking, that will get you the like most cheapest flights from the location A to B, from your destination to, yeah. So we have created a booking agent which utilizes Skyscanner tool, and we prompt the LLM, like, get me those flights that goes from this place to this at. And there is a planning agent that is all utilizing MMT or any other tool. So these all are all combined along with the LLM here is acting as a brain for it, and these are just the tools that we are utilizing to just answer the user's query. This is what AI agent is, and the difference among those, we are utilizing the LLMs in AI agent.
Okay, great. Somebody somebody is asking how much, okay, depends on the time. Some, when LLM can answer all why agents are required, something like that. But as Shivam is asking how many agents you will be making this session. So Shivam, yeah, as we told, like we will be moving to agents little bit slowly. If we'll just um, start the agent work right now, so you won't understand that much, and then you will forget. So we are like making you the basic stuff we are preparing, and then we'll slowly move into the agentic part. Okay, I think we are good, Simrat, for now.
Yeah, the question like why agents are required when we have the LLMs. So, agent LLM are something, the foundation models that are present, but they cannot work on their own. They are trained on some limit, on freely available data, like Wikipedia resources or the books or the research papers or anything that is available on internet, it is trained on. but it is bound to make mistakes. And even chat gpt can make mistakes. So they come with some disclaimer. So in order to make it more intelligent, there is a term called hallucination. So hallucination is basically when the LLMs that we are utilizing, it will give you the answer, but it will give you the wrong response and with a lot of confidence. So that's why here it is mentioned it is bound to make mistakes. So agents we are utilizing the tools that we can much more rely upon. Like for example, we are utilizing RAG here. There is a term called agentic RAG, which combines the AI agents and the RAG framework. So we are giving the AI agents our own knowledge base, so our own confidential information, which LLM does not have any idea upon. But we are utilizing LLMs here in RAG to generate the response, but by giving our private data to it. So AI agents also combats this, like it utilizes tools like web search. If you go to file data, it has loads of tools. So archive tool, it basically have all the research papers that comes in, mostly in the narrative AI. Every day there is a new research paper. So we can combine this tool and create our own application. We can create like a meeting planner for our like if I have a meeting and I want to summarize it, plan it, and send emails with the meeting invite, I can all do it by utilizing Gmail API. This is how, but we are utilizing LLMs to solve this problem, but all is done using AI agents. We are basically autonomousing the process, making the LLMs more smarter. Even if you ask ChatGPT to do a simple calculation, it goes to the calculator, and that is also done using a call API calling, function calling, and then it fetches answer and generates response and give it back to you. So this is also an LLM application. So if I hope all of your answers are met accordingly. Any more doubts?
I think we are good, Simran. So
Okay.
yeah, so we can just explain a little bit about this chatbot and all, Simran. Then we can just start with the coding part. Okay.
Oh, okay. Okay, then I'll run this first and then we can move to the code. So this is an application. Okay. So an overview for this. This is a chatbot, one of the applications of RAG. So we have created a chatbot that will ask for a PDF file, and you can ask any questions relevant to that PDF file. And if you are asking something that is not even present in the PDF, it will generate a response because it is utilizing OpenAI's GPT-4 model in it. So yeah, so what we are doing is we are giving our own knowledge base and it will generate response accordingly, and for that we have implemented this RAG framework. Okay. So if I'll upload this file, like this is a JD job description for and summarize this summarize the PDF in points. Okay. So this is the PDF that I have provided, and I've prompted it to summarize the PDF. If you want something else to be answered, you can also provide suggestions. Like if you want to give a prompt, anyone.
Yeah, guys, before like going into the project, we are just like telling you what we are doing. We are using a RAG model here, and we are making a project in which like you will provide one PDF to one chat application and just answer and just question it like whatever you want. Suppose you have like uploaded your resume here and you can ask like what are the skills there in it, how many years of experience, like right? Then it will just summarize you and gives you the answer, right? This is the project which we are explaining to you, and then that yeah, we will tell you like how it is made and everything. Yes, Imran, you will put, yeah.
Yes, I'm running another PDF. Okay. So what so I've just asked like what are the skills that are mentioned. So these are all the skills that are mentioned, and it has generated all in points. Okay. So moving on to the implementation part. So Streamlit we have used here for the UI part, and PyPDF is basically used for parsing the PDF that we process. And OpenAI we have, in order to use the LLMs, we import OpenAI because we are later on using GPT model. So that is from OpenAI API. And this is just an API key that we have to generate in order to utilize the LLM models. So if you can also sign up to OpenAI and generate the secret key from there and pass it into some other file. It is a secret key for a reason. And then we are setting the API key here, and this is just for the UI part. So streamed it dot title, the title that appears, and this is the main function which is extracting the text from the PDF. So we are utilizing PyPDF to pass through the PDF, and this is how we are returning text through it. So if there is a loop, like in terms of pages, we are parsing it and then storing that information in a variable, first in terms of pages and then in terms of text, and then we are returning that text. So in order to generate a response, we utilize LLMs for this. So if you remember, if we go here, so what here we have done, we have passed this PDF and passed it through and created text variable out of it. So created tokens for it. Now we want to generate the response, and here we are utilizing the LLM for it. So one second. So the user question, basically the query that is present here, the query that is sent is one of the parameter that we send the generator part of it, as we can see here too. One of the parameter, the query is sent to the generator and pass through the embedding model for the vector search. So user question or the query is passed and the PDF text and messages. Okay. So LLMs We need to specify to them like what we want out of it. So this we can do in terms of prompt. That is one another technique, that is prompt engineering, where we basically are telling the LLMs like you have to play this role and this is the content. We are prompting the answer, we want to prompt the answer from the LLM, so we are generated this prompt like you are an AI assistant tasked with answering questioning questions based on the provided document. And using this prompt, it will generate the response. And we have utilized chart completion here and mentioned the model like GPT-4, that is one of the OpenAI's LLM, and we have passed the messages that we have provided here and maximum number of tokens that it can process at one time. We have specified that because there is a limit to it. We as we talked earlier, uh, the, in the tokenizer also there are like numerous tokens that gets created for just small amount of text. So it basically for it can what it means is like it can process certain tokens at once. Basically it forgets the tokens at the beginning. So this is one of the limitation of LLMs, that it can only process a limited amount of tokens, and it does not have a memory, so it is bound to forget. So if here you can see, it shows like the memory is full, that you can manipulate from the settings also. So okay, coming back to the code, temperature is one of the parameter that is passed, that basically determines like how response, what kind of response we want to generate. We want to generate it to the point, that is exact answer to the question. Then the temperature value should be 0 less than 0.5. And if we want some randomness in our answer or response, we can set it to greater than zero point 0.5. So the value generally ranges from 0 to 1, and the response is returned here. And this code is basically for the UI part, so this is not that important, but this is the main thing. Here we are utilizing LLMs and we have created a prompt for the LLMs to understand. And yes, and this is the parameters, like what kind of response we want from the LLM, that is specified here. And here we are just making our knowledge base in the text variable, basically extracting the text and making it available to the LLM. So this is how it happens, and this will return the response. So this was one application that had a RAG framework implemented, and there is one more application that we can see, that yeah, this is another project you can work on. Like it is basically an image generator. We will provide the text. If I'll show you in the UI part. Yeah.
So guys, basically whoever knows coding, that is fine, but whoever don't know, like just don't get disheartened, like if you're not getting it, like how we are coding the APIs. So for those who don't know coding, so we will explain some tools also in the end sessions, like QAI and N8 and something, so that you can also build your agents. So you just like need to like follow up with the Simrat how we are doing it, the steps and note, then you'll be good. Okay, Simrat, yeah, thank you.
Yeah. So this is another application where we are utilizing LLMs to generate images out of text. So if I'll provide with the text like draw me an image of astronaut in the ocean, then I can specify here the number of images. Okay, earlier it was generating. Okay, basically in the code part, if I'll talk about, we are utilizing here the DALI. DALI is a diffusion model of OpenAI. So diffusion model is anything that is trained on images data. So what we are doing is we have like earlier we have specified GPT-4 here for the RAG pipeline. We have specified DALI, and the prompt is that we have given is to generate an image. And n by default we have set to 1, like number of image we want to set is 1, and the size of the image. So we are setting here the response. How does we want the response? So these are the parameters or specifications that we tell the model to be generate a response upon. And we have imported OpenAI in order to use DALI. PIL is basically used to import the image part, that is a pillow library for that will process the images. Streamlit again for the UI part, API for the API in order to utilize DALI. And after setting the API key and passing the image description, so the parameters or the input that we are taking from the user is like a description and the number of images we want to generate. So that is passed along in the functions as functions parameters, and we are appending these images after they get generated according to our response from the LLMs. So if it is generating one image, and further the second image will get appended in the images variable, and we are returning those image as a response. And this is all about the UI part. So this was a text to image generator. We have around 5 minutes left, so if anyone has doubts.
We are good. Simran, I think this one we can fix and show them later tomorrow.
Yes, maybe the server error.
No issue, yeah. So guys, if you have any question, you can just chat. Like we have shown you on chatbot, like who answers your queries, right, using the APIs. So this is the Python stuff that we are doing is. So I think we are good for today, Simran. If somebody have any question, they can ask. Okay, I don't think so. We have a serious question right here. So that why we are making the agent. Somebody is asking why we are making the agent when we can do this custom GPT. That these basic stuff you can just check out online because agents are basically to automate the tasks, right? at making the decisions using LLMs. So okay, I think since we are good here, so I think let's close the session and we can start tomorrow in the same time. Okay, Rahul and Simran, I think we are good. Thanks everyone. So we have 5 more days. You can ask questions whatever you want later also. Yeah, you will get the code, Namita. So yeah, we can just push the code into repository and I'll share into the group. Recording as well as yeah PPT also, and this one recording PPT and the code. So you will get everything. Okay, guys, I think we are good, so we can wrap up the session. Thanks, Simran. Thanks, Rahul. Okay, thank you.